today you are going to be doing a drawing that you will go over in oil pastel and then doing some watercolor wash on top of. And you are going to really, for today, just be experimenting. So I want you to follow the steps, but you're not going to be stressed if something doesn't go exactly as you want it to. This is sort of our trial run for our project coming up. So you're going to get a piece of regular drawing paper that's in the manila folder, and you are going to start with a pencil, and you're going to start vertically for this one. We're going to draw the sides of a tree trunk, and I'm doing it sort of like scribbly, and that's exactly what I want you to do. We're not trying to draw a perfect like single line drawing. We're sketching, and we're going to then come up on this side, and I'm like scribbling to make it thick, and I'm going to split it apart in a Y. And then I want you to do the same thing on the other side, but I want you to come at a different angle. We're going to go longer with that one, and then I'm going to have you come down here. And at any point you can pause the video and work slower and then press play if you need to. And what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to build up. So in the middle, I'm going to come up with sort of like a zigzagging line, and I'm going to go all the way out to the edges. I'm going to come down here, I'm going to come up again from this base, and I'm going to do a little bit, try to make it not the identical one to this. I'm going to come out here, and then I'm going to just start building smaller Y's as I go and work my way out to the edge. I'm going to add a branch here and there just by creating another Y. And in here, I'm going to let it connect and make this thicker at the base. At the base of the tree, I'm going to do roots, and they're going to be like almost like a curved triangle coming out from the bottom of this tree, and they're curving in different directions. I'm not trying to make like a photographic image of a tree. I am just drawing like a tree in abstraction. Okay. Now I'm going to go in with my yellow. So I want you to get a yellow and an orange pastel, and then a brown and a black. And I'm going to close up on what I'm going to do. We're going to first start with yellow, and I'm going to put a circle of yellow. And you're holding your pastel from the paper. Try not to push too hard, and you don't want to break it. And what you're going to do is this. You're going to go nice and round, and then as you go out, I want you to like do like a dashed line going out, like circling around. Okay? Then we're going to go with our orange, and we're going to go right on the outer edge where we're going to overlap just a little bit onto the yellow. When I go onto the yellow, I'm going to do a little bit lighter pressure with the pastel, and then I'm going to work my way out, going around, and then into a dotted line, and it's going to dot its way out. I'm going to come in one more time with my yellow, and I'm going to blend where I'm just overlapping where they were meeting, and I might go around one more time. Okay, and that's going to be it for that one. Then I'm going to go in with my brown first, and I'm going to go over my tree. And I'm going to add a few more little branches as I go, but I'm not worried about covering all of the pencil this time. I'm just going to make sure that I'm getting out to the edges, and I'm tracing over my tree. And yours will probably take longer. I'm going to just do this as a demonstration piece, and I'll show you one that I've done, but these are the steps. You're tracing over the tree, And in here, I'm not going to fill to solid, but I'm going to add some brown into it, and then I'm going to sort of trace out my roots. And I'm going to do this background line. Then I'm going to come in with my black. And I'm not filling to solid. I'm not ever worried about that, but I'm going to add some blacks to the edges. I'm not outlining. In some places I might add black as its own entity, but I'm just adding it in with the brown. So I'm going to thicken up some areas a little bit by adding another line next to it. And in some areas I will be adding an extra little branch or two that can just be black with no brown. Just adding a little more detail. Okay. But anytime you need to pause, so you can please just pause the video. Now, I'm going to pan out so you can see. So I just added in here. I'm adding little branches in as I go out. And this is what it looks like. Now, I'm going to make sure that I'm on something. It could be a piece of newspaper. It could be, I'm going to be on my folder that's open. I'm going to put my pastels away because I don't need them anymore. And I'm going to get out my watercolors. So you're going to get out your watercolors. You're going to get a cup of water. You're going to drip water into the colors that you're going to use. We're going to use blue. We're going to use some violet. And we're probably going to use a little bit of red. So I'm going to start with those. Then I'm going to go really lightly into my blue. So I'm really going to do a wash. And I'm picking up more water than paint as I do this. Okay. And I'm going to put my water up here next to my paint. It'll help it go faster. And I'm going to wash on the surface. If my blue appears really dark, okay, and here's the other thing. I'm holding this brush by its very tip. So I'm not putting a lot of pressure. I'm not trying to smear around the oil pastel. And if it looks like it's getting light, I just add a little bit more color to it, but it's predominantly water. And then with just a little bit of paint washed into it. So I'm doing my blue up at the top. It's a little dark there. I'm going to add some more just water. So I'm not going back into the paint. I'm just going into the water and I'm just gently pushing it along. I'm going to add a little bit of violet up here. So this is either rising sun or setting sun. So the sky is turning sort of a purpley bluish. Oops, kind of dark there. I'm going to add some more. I'm losing my tree. I'm going to add some more water. And then as I come down to the sun, I'm going to go even lighter with the blue. And I'm letting this just gently wash on top, and it should resist. So just more water than paint. And down here, I'm going to add a little bit of red. So I'm just going to this is pretty wet right now, right? With the blue, with the light blue washed behind it, lots of water. I'm going to add a tiny bit of red to my brush, making sure I have enough water. And I'm going to let it sort of wash together to make a little bit of a gradient and a little bit of like a pinkish sky. So if the sun was rising, I might see this pinky sky starting to happen in this background. And again, still lots of water washing in behind. And then I even might add a tiny bit of orange. Gotta be careful when you're doing orange and blue. I think I'm gonna stick to red. Red does better. Okay, now I'm not worried that I got every tiny little white spot. This is just an experiment today. At the bottom, I'm going to go into black, And I'm just going to sort of let this disappear. It's going to become gray, not true black. I'm going to wash some of that into the ground, almost like it's silhouetted dark. But I don't want to black out the roots. I just want to wash some gray over it. Okay. And then what I want you to do is you're going to wait probably about 5 minutes and then photograph it and submit it in today's submission. That's it. Clean up your mess.